and welcome to Fat Shaming in Fashion, a tale as old as time by Kiana Martin Sanders. According to Merriam-Webster, fat shaming is described as the act or practice of subjecting someone perceived as fat or overweight to criticism or mockery. Now, fat shaming is a concept that's as old as time itself. And fat shaming is a problem within several different modicums of society, such as the medical field, the media, and fashion, which is what we'll be talking about today. So you may be asking, how do you know? Well, there are several examples, such as one CEO of a fashion brand himself saying what we already know. Chip Wilson, who was the CEO of Lululemon in 2005, said, quote, "Selling clothing bigger than a size 12 would be a money loser for his business," end quote. There was also a British retailer called New Look that was in 2018, which was 3 years ago, instituting a quote-unquote fat tax, which means that most of their plus-size garments were 15% more than the straight-size garments, which is a major problem. So, you still may not be convinced that fat shaming is a problem in our societies, even though those were, academic examples. Now I'm going to show you some real life examples from some brands that you may know. So here I'm on the famous brand ASOS, their Instagram page, and Instagram is very popular and very influential in marketing and everything else in the world. So once you scroll to their Instagram, you can see that they have some examples of different bodies, but mainly they have some examples of different bodies, but for the most part it's still just skinny people with flat stomachs. Even though they have some plus size people up there, they still tend to have flatter stomachs and wide hips, which is an ideal body type in several different countries across the world. So you see, there's still not that many varying body types, which can be very demeaning to, impressionable teenagers or even people who just want to buy things in general. They don't really see bodies that represent their body type, which can alienate them. Okay, here I'm on another popular brand's Instagram, Boohoo. So when you go on their page, they have examples of different bodies, but they still are showing skinny people. Okay, here's another plus size body. But they really are just showing mainly one type of body type, which is a flat stomach, wide hips, small waist. They're not really showing a variety of body types, which if you're plus size or if you're a bigger person whose body does not look like that, can definitely affect them mentally or can make them feel like they should not be shopping with this brand because they don't see many people represented on their Instagram. So here I'm on another popular brand's Instagram page, Forever 21. So Forever 21 has plus sizes. At first they were available online, just online, and then they slowly moved plus sizes into stores. But the plus size section, depending on what store you're in, is still not as big as the straight size section. So when you look on their Instagram, you'll see they have some examples of some different bodies, some plus sizes, but mainly it's, they're showing people who are in straight sizes and who again have that ideal body shape, small waist, larger hips, like an hourglass figure. So they actually have another page for their plus size clothes, which again can be a little alienating because they have a whole different page, so that's not their main page. And then you'll look on their plus size page, and they still show, they show people who are plus size, but they mainly still show plus size people who still have the ideal body shape, which is hourglass. So this can, even though there's still some representation of different body sizes, they're still really showing you that, that the ideal body shape is still one kind. They're not really representing the various, types of plus sizes that there are. I'm on another very, very popular brand's Instagram, Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova, I found, was the biggest culprit of, I would say, like, not explicit, but implicit body shaming, because on their main page, they show people who have an unattainable type of body shape, the hourglass figure, but it's exaggerated because they have surgery. So they're showing unnatural bodies in outfits. On their main page, they're really just showing, of course, mainly one type of body. They have some plus sizes on their main page, but not really. But again, and I scrolled for a long time, but again, even if you go, they have a whole separate page, just like Forever 21, of plus sizes called Fashion Nova Curve. So they show different types of bodies, but again, it's mainly small waist, large hips, like a proportional body, and not everybody's shape is like that. But Fashion Nova is an extremely popular brand, and it's kind of sad that there has to be a different page for plus sizes. Why can't there just be representation overall? Like, why can't there just be representation of all different sizes on all, on the main page? Why do you have to have a separate page? Okay, so you still may not be convinced that fat shaming or implicit fat shaming or weight bias is a problem in fashion. Or you might be saying, okay, those are fast fashion brands. Well, I found some higher end brands that are basically doing the same thing. And I feel like, the higher quality, more luxury brands are known even more for fat shaming or weight bias. So I'm on Louis V's Instagram, Louis Vuitton, and they're advertising many different things though. So it's not mainly just bodies on their Instagram, but they're still only showing one type of body. They're showing one type of body, thin, mainly fair-skinned people. So they're not really showing anything different. They're not showing a wide range of body types. They're showing men and women, but they're not showing men and women of various sizes, shapes, complexions. And the same thing actually goes for, I went on Gucci's Instagram, and they have the same thing. They're showing different products, different people, but they're not really showing varying body types. They're just showing one type of body. They're not really showing plus sizes. They're just showing straight size, thin people, small waist, things of that nature. So now you all may be wondering, why does this matter? And I'll show you why this matters. According to an article named "Fat Shaming is Making People Sicker and Heavier," found in the Canadian Medical Association Journal, weight bias internalization can occur with any body size. So this doesn't matter if you're plus sized or even a straight size person. You can still experience weight bias internalization, so you can still feel bad about your weight, even if you are perceived to be a quote-unquote healthy weight or a quote-unquote good body type. But this article also states that, quote, fat shaming is also linked to depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, eating disorders, and exercise avoidance. So even if you're not a fat person or a plus size person, You could still internalize all of these things that these brands are feeding you on their Instagram page, and which can lead to depression and anxiety. So those things are not good, clearly. And Instagram is a very influential tool, for marketing, but it also influences how people think and how they feel about themselves. Also found in this article, Sarah Kirk says, who is a professor of health and promotion at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia, Canada, has said that weight bias, also known as fat shaming, is a systemic issue. So it's a systemic issue throughout everything. Those brands that I showed you, they're doing this on purpose. This is not an accident, and this is not fashion industries. There are some things that we can do as regular people. We can stop supporting these brands. We can definitely bring awareness to the situation and let these brands know that this is not okay. We can also support brands that are working hard to be inclusive of sizing and what they show on Instagram. For example, there's this brand called Universal Standard. As you see in their bio, they have sizes from 00 to size 40. Now that is extremely inclusive sizing. On their Instagram page, you see they have a variety of body shapes and sizes. They're showing people of all different ethnicities on their Instagram page. And their clothes are kind of cute, if I do say so myself. So this is an inclusive brand. We can all try to support inclusive brands that have inclusive sizing and are inclusive on their Instagram pages. And this can show those other brands that we actually do care about what they're showing us on Instagram and things of that nature.